Today I would like to talk about politics of the Republic of Korea uh, without politics. This article was published in Daegu Shinmun 2022, August 15. This is Dr. Jo, professor of Daegu University. Uh, Many people lament that politics is a mess, but hoping that politics going will go where in our country is like funding Sungnyung by where it is observed to hope that politics will go where without properly teaching politics or investing in it in universities. People who play politics in our country uh, can be largely classified two, into two groups. One group is a conservative group that has become a best interest group through the so-called judicial examination, administrative examination, and foreign affairs examination by being faithful to the examination study no matter what happens in the world. The other group is the so-called progressive group, a group that claims democracy in the country is their own achievement and lives as long life activists. Uh, what these two groups have in common is a group that lives with a sense of superiority once and for all. Moreover, they were generally a group that did not observe the law and order, well, but forced others to keep them, and they are reduced to a group that only blames the other party without discussing each other without discussion. The best representation of these characteristics can be seen in the two-party presidential camp in the last presidential election. At that time, Yoon Suk-yeol's camp for candidate for the power of the people consisted of all provost sectors except one former judge. On the other hand, each members of Democratic Party of Korea consists of all members of National Assembly. This is an expression of backwardness of Korean politics, regardless of the ruling or opposite party. Uh, and the Republic of Korea National Assembly is the place where you can know it the most. Uh, the reality is that there is no day when it is quite there is no proper discussion, and every day it is only blamed on others due to confrontation and conflict. How can all the problems in the world be blamed on others? How can all the problems in the country be blamed on the opposite? Until now, I have never seen a lawmaker properly admit their party's wrongdoing. Other fields are truly achieved in the rank of the advanced country, and soon are taking off as living countries. But why can't the political sector escape from um, uh, backwardness? Such a phenomenon is perfect, perfectly natural result. Few Korean have politicians have studied politics properly. Even though there is a case, most of them did not enter politics through the through political science, but through the examination or social movement. The backwardness of Korean politics is a side effect created by the military dictatorship. Even though the power of social science is political science, the 5.16 million people in 1961 and uh, uh, Yuksan incident in 1964, the movement against the Korean-Japanese talks are dark years of Korean political science education, casting a deep shadow on the future of Korean politics. Military regime, which emerged as a coup, abolished political department of various universities in the name of maintaining university. Political department in many universities were abolished or their quota was reduced at this time, and the government was not favorable about the move to establish a political department. At that time, the government seemed to recognize the political department as an comfortable presence, presence in the vanguard of leading anti-government demonstrations. The Yuksan incident, the first full-fledged resistance to the Third Republic, was led by political students at each university, which affect the government's perception of political science and gradually expanded to the private sector, where politics was recognized as uh, a so-called uh, tutoring department. Korean politics is a situation in which amateurs who have never learned political science in college and know little about politics uh, gather to demonstrate politics and requires higher level of experience. There is even a monkey 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 that politics is not done by the people, but by politicians. Okay. Okay. So, who is a politician? Half a con man and half an artist. We must put all politicians in the ranks of artists. To that end, the political science education of universities must be put back in place, and education that respect other party who discusses must be restored to have a future for Korea politics. It is difficult to sustain an advanced country without a political movement and development. And in more, it cannot become a leading country in the world the economic development that we emphasize so much was at the expense of political development. And now we must develop political development as well as economic development. And political equity is as important as economic efficiency. To this end, as much as you invest in economy, you must be interested in politics to raise leaders. And I am sure that citizens will be able to create an order for the people to be happy, and the people to be happy, and humans to be happy. Thank you very much. I will start here now.